All right, so again, welcome. In today's webinar, I'm going to be really just discussing how to access, or I'm sorry, not access, how to assess and improve your online presence. So why is this important? Very first thing, you know, in today's world, we all leave a digital footprint. That's what we call it. So between social media profiles and these third-party real estate websites and other digital media, there's just so much about us out there in the online space, much of it we may not even be aware of. Right, so some of the information might be good, some may not be so good, and for some of you, you may not even have much of an online presence at all, which in today's world basically means you don't exist to the online consumers that you're trying to reach at least. And so your online presence or your online reputation is a really important driver for your business because the internet is where other people are starting their search for almost everything today, especially when it comes to real estate. So let me share some statistics with you just so you really understand, I mean, how big this is. The National Association of Realtors reports that 95% of all recent buyers use the internet at some point during their home search process. We just got this number from the NAR profile of home buyers and sellers that they put out last month. So this is the highest number we've ever seen. And this number could include people searching for homes or people searching for a local real estate agent. So, you know, it's important to know that today we just live in a world that's dominated by online reviews. And like me, many of you probably checked out Yelp before going into a new restaurant or a restaurant when you're traveling, or you go to buy something on Amazon, you've checked out the number of stars and the reviews that people wrote about or before you chose to buy the product. This is just something that we've all become accustomed to. And in fact, studies are showing that 97% of people read online reviews when looking for a local business. And this one is the kicker to me. 84% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from a real person. Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, those numbers are just so high. And that's why it's become really critical to effectively manage your online reputation. And that is what this webinar is all about. Now, this is a pretty rich topic, so I'm going to be focusing really on 3 specific areas that you can apply immediately to improve your online presence. And so this is what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to talk about assessing your online presence. So how can you understand what is out there about you? You know, what are online consumers seeing? I'm going to teach you some tricks to find that out. And then once you do assess that online presence, that's when you can do the work to manage and improve it. And we'll be talking about ways that you can do that, particularly through the channels that are highly visible in the real estate space. So things like social media, things like third-party real estate search websites. Say that 3 times fast. You know, Realtor.com, Zillow, Homes.com, those. And then thirdly, I'll be walking you through the components of creating a power-packed online profile. We're going to do it on Realtor.com, but you know, keep in mind that that kind of profile, the same components are what you can use and replicate on different bios, on different About Me pages, on other real estate profiles to really, you know, really put your best foot forward out there with online consumers. So that's the focus today. So first, how do you assess your online presence? We know online buyers are obviously using the internet to search for homes, and so it's safe to assume that they're also researching you online. So the easiest way to see what they are seeing is to basically Google yourself. Google yourself to see what comes up. Consumers will typically search for you and find you through organic search. So there's a couple ways that I would recommend Googling yourself. So you can kind of, it's almost like getting different perspectives of what is out there for you. So first would just be, you know, Google your name, right? So when you do that, you might see your website come up, like Mark Snyder, his real estate website is sellinmorgantown.com. It's for Snyder Realty Group. You may see social media profiles, press releases. There could be any number of things, right? So try Googling your name. Another thing that you should also try is to use quotations. So using quotations will also show that this is a name, not just 2 separate words. So you can try that. Number 3, I encourage you to search using secondary searches. And secondary searches use just related keywords. So it's like taking your name, so I could say Mark Snyder, I could say Lisa Suazo, and then say realtor, or adding, realtor Morgantown WV, so that's adding a city and a state. You can add your name and a real estate company. You could add your name and an email address. So, using these sort of secondary identifiers or keywords, modifiers they're called, will also help you to expand the search. And so again, you want to just and see what comes up, right? Again, in this search, Morgantown, his website came up, so that's going to be something that I know a lot of people are seeing. What else comes up for you a lot? Is it social media profiles? Is it, just white page listings? Fourth, you're going to want to potentially try searching from different browsers. So if you normally search on Google Chrome, try out, Firefox or Safari sometime. And that's just so that, your browsing history doesn't influence what comes up. So just try different browsers, or if you're using your, your typical browser, clear your cache or delete your browsing history. So you can really identify what are those sites that keep showing up. That's what we want to focus on. Now, what you may notice is that some sites that keep coming up, it could be your website, it could be, Facebook or other social media, but you might also see your profile on third-party real estate websites as well. Like here's Mark Snyder showing up on Realtor.com. Well, and this sometimes what we'll see is, for many of you, this might actually come up even before your website, some of these third-party sites, and that's just because a lot of the sites, for example, in the List Hub network, offer free profiles. And because these sites themselves, think about Zillow and Realtor.com and, the SEO they're trying to achieve, they're getting a lot of traffic, and they are likely to rank higher in the search results, which means consumers are, maybe searching their sites and finding information about you on their sites much more than on your own, right? So it's important to make sure you're managing your online presence on those sites too. All of these search results are websites that provide an important opportunity to connect with online consumers. So that's why it's critical to manage your online presence on each of them. And when I say manage your online presence, that's kind of a fancy term, but essentially all I'm talking about there is that you want to keep these sites up to date, right? You want to keep your information on them complete. You want to include the kind of information that's going to really draw people in and help them get to know you and also demonstrate your professionalism. So that's what we're looking to achieve here. Alrighty? All right, so what does your online reputation say about you? Once you assess your online presence, once you Google yourself, you're going to find that you typically fit into one of 4 categories, okay? So I'm going to do a poll after this, so I want you to keep in mind, I want you to just really think about, which of these categories would you think most represents you? And, many of you probably haven't Googled yourself yet, so you're not sure. But just think about these. These are the 4 categories. First is a sparse online presence. So this basically means that your online reputation is really low-key, right? And that can be both a good or a bad thing, or a good or bad thing. On the one hand, there's not a whole lot of misleading or negative information about you, but on the other hand, there's really not much about you at all. So you don't really, you don't really exist in this space. You may have some search results that are like automatically generated listings, so things like white pages, directory listings and things, but those are ones that you can't really control, right? And you have a low search volume for your name, and all that means is, people aren't doing a lot of searches for your name. So that's a sparse online presence. It's like you don't really exist much at all. Now, the next is a professional presence. So the professional presence, it means, for the most part, most of your results are about your business or professional life. So it does make it easier for people to see your accomplishments. You control some of the results, meaning these are results like, like your website where you get to choose the content, or a profile that you're creating on Realtor.com, right? You can control the content. and there's a low to medium search volume. The next one is mixed messages. So this could be this kind of a reputation actually often arises when somebody has the same name as you. So it could seem confusing, right? There could be one or more prominent results, but some of them could be about you, some of them could not be about you. And in particular, if there's bad press about this person, if someone's been, portrayed negatively in the news, or if you've been arrested or something like that, sometimes, that could rub off on you. Also, there could be mixed messages out there because maybe you did like a massive career change, so you've got some stuff about you, pre-real estate, for example, and then you've got your real estate life out there. So that could be a mixed message sort of scenario as well. And then the last one is under attack. And this is where your online reputation, when you Google yourself, you have a lot of critical search results. You've got a lot of negative sounding stuff out there. So usually this is only, this happens if some sort of bad press or controversy gets loose. It can be like triggered by a media storm. And so, here you have very little control over the top sites, and people are searching you like crazy, medium to high, higher than any of the others. So with this one, this is where you are going to need some help. It's going to take concerted effort to kind of rebuild your online reputation and bring more balance to the conversation. So this is not going to be most of you. This is not really what we're going to cover today. But for those of you who do assess yourself and you do find some negative stuff out there, if you want, we do have 2 resources that we kind of came across that we liked that can help you actually repair your online reputation. And those are internetreputation.com and reputationdefender.com. So if those can be helpful for you, feel free to jot them down. But for the most part, we're going to focus on some others. Now, before we dive into improving your online presence, I wanted to just launch a quick poll with all of you today. I want to see what of each of those categories you feel is where you fall. So I'm going to launch this poll here. So for you guys, if you've never done a poll, please just select which option really you think you fit into the most. Do you feel like you have a sparse online presence? Do you feel like you have a professional presence? You feel like there's a little mixed message out there? Maybe you just got into real estate pretty recently. Or do you feel like you're under attack? I'll give it just a couple more seconds to see what you think you are. All right, keep going. Okay, good results. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at this. I'm going to give you 3 more seconds to get your vote in, and then I'm going to close the poll. All right, we're closing it down. So interesting. Well, this is good news, I think. So let me share this with you guys. So it looks like in this particular audience, 75% of you think that you have a professional presence, which is awesome because actually, which I'm going to share in a moment, is that's what we're going for. 25% of you feel like you have a sparse online presence, which is also, I think, if we could say second best, that's probably the second best. There's a lot of opportunity there for you to increase your presence with some really great content. So this is awesome, guys. Thanks for participating. Great to know. So let's move forward with this. For those of you who think you have a professional presence, awesome. Let's see if we can't find some ways to help you even make it more professional and improve it. For those of you who have sparse online presence, this is great. This webinar is exactly where you need to be to help you, because what we are aiming for is creating that professional presence. And so when I say professional presence, it means it's easy for people to find you, right? And that most of the results that show up are going to be about you or your business or your professional life. And not only that, but they're results that you can control. That's another one that's just really important. So it's, where you get to create that favorable impression. So it's things like your website, things like your social media presence and third-party profiles, as opposed to just, general directory listings and things like white pages, where you're like, where did that come from? How do I change that information? Okay, so how would you create a more professional presence? This is kind of what we're going to focus on. There's some keys here. first is to just make sure you fill the first page of search with professional content. So for my sparse people out here, this is where you really want to make sure that those sites that you found when you were assessing yourself, so maybe it's your website, maybe it's Facebook, those top search results are going to be sites where you feel confident about your presence, and those are the ones that you want to essentially beef up with great content, right? The key to improving your online presence is essentially to crowd out the bad or the empty space with the good content. So this is where you want to make the top search results your strongest and the ones that you get to control. Another thing for those of you who think you have a good professional presence to really think about, even make it stronger in the search results, is to build a diverse presence. And what I mean by that is instead of just text, like kind of the baseline, the foundation we're going to talk about is creating those free profiles and making sure you've got, you're saying great things about yourself and other people are saying great things about you online. But above and beyond that, search engines also love to get different types of content, so like photo or video content, so posting photos. So sites like Instagram, for example, when you post photos, or maybe you are really great on video and you have a YouTube channel and you want to, having video and things like that will also help to improve your rankings because search engines like that. So consider adding a variety of different kind of content. So those are really the keys to your professional presence, and we're going to really focus on these top two. So in the real estate space, one of the things that we know people are really concerned about, we know a lot of people learn about you on social media. So let's start with social media, because when used wisely, social media can really enhance your business. Part of it is just because the sheer numbers. On Facebook, there are over 1.7 billion users. 890 million people log into Facebook every single day. So, it's a big deal. So social media also just helps people to get to know you better, and it can be the first step in building a relationship with a potential client. And it gives you also a chance to just kind of demonstrate your expertise and gently promote yourself. So how can you maximize your social media presence? Got 4 tips for you that you can really implement to help you in this particular space. First is to clean up your social media profiles. So this one, it's kind of basic. It goes without saying, but it's important, and so I did want to mention it. First thing is to just make sure you clean up your presence on social media. We've all probably had the experience where there's some strange or incriminating, embarrassing photo that we've been tagged in by a buddy of ours, right, on social media. So, if you are using your social media from a professional standpoint, make sure that you use common sense, you remove certain photos and tag yourself from certain photos. Also, Facebook makes it easy for you to change your privacy settings so that it requires your approval before you can be tagged in any photos or posts. So you may want to consider checking out your privacy settings. Consider whether you want to have a business page and a personal page, and consider keeping the two very separate, right? So you have your business email connected with your business page, you've got your personal email connected with your personal page, and you kind of try to keep the two separate. So that could be one thing. Clean up social media first and foremost. Oops, excuse me. Secondly, you want to complete your social profiles. So this is also very simple, but it's essential. If your social media profiles aren't complete, they're just not as effective as they could be. I had to do this for myself too. Like really go back, review my business page, and see what is out there about me. On your personal page, on your business page, go through and make sure those profiles are really rich and full of great information about you. Also, depending on which social networks you're on, you don't have to be on all of them first and foremost. Even pick and choose the ones that you like and that you feel like your customers are going to be on. But each social platform has its own strength, right, or has its own advantage. So make sure you're leveraging the advantage of different platforms. Another thing you want to do is to keep your posts current and relevant. So on social media, again, remember your posts are a reflection of your business and your reputation. So you want to keep them current. You want to make sure people you know, see you posting, stay top of mind. You want to be reflected in a positive light. So when I say update content regularly, or keeping posts current means updating your content regularly. Another idea is to think about creating sticky content. Sticky content just means content that is memorable and shareable as opposed to disposable, right? So that idea is we really want to provide valuable content, like stuff that people are loving and that they're sharing. And also consider the 4-1-1 rule when you're posting. And this is like the golden rule. It's like, well, you really want to operate under the motto of giving more than you receive. This is a mistake that I see so many real estate agents make, and tons of other entrepreneurs online as well. And that's when all you do is sell yourself. Have you guys seen that person? Where it's like, you know, every day it's like, I'm listing a house, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. It's all about them as opposed to providing value to their potential customer. What the 4-1-1 rule does is flips that. So you want to create 4 free content posts that provide value. So think, you know, interesting articles, maybe market condition updates, things like that, like stuff of interest to actual people. And then you can post something promotional about yourself or your business. So like, you know, I'm excited, I just sold someone's home for such and such a % over the asking price, or, you know, post something else promotional about yourself. And then the last one is to ask. Ask for business, ask for referrals, ask for ratings, reviews, or recommendations, which we'll be talking about in just a moment. And then you want to go back to the 4, right? Deliver more valuable content. So that's a great thing to remember. And then 4th tip is engage, engage, engage. This is another area where I feel like it's such a missed opportunity for so many people. You know, part of the whole idea of social media is engagement. And it's not just about posting your own content, but it's also about following other people, following other brands. You know, maybe being a part of some groups that you can actually interact with people and share helpful information. Comment on other people's posts, right? Or be sure to respond on your own post, or when people respond to your post, and be appreciative and thank people for following your post or sharing your post, and, you know, comment if you like somebody else's post. I mean, that's what social media is all about, and that's where you start to create just more of a presence in that space. All right, guys. So after hearing those 4 tips, I'm curious to know which poll, or I have a poll, and I want to get your input on this one as well. So after discussing social media, which of these is your greatest area of opportunity for improvement? So which, you know, which of these in social media do you feel like you need work, right? Do you feel like you need to clean up your presence? Do you think you need to go back and actually complete those profiles, make sure they're, you know, they're good, they're looking good? Do you think you need to post more current, relevant content? Or do you think you actually need to just increase engagement? Oh, I see the answers coming in. Interesting. These are interesting. So keep responding, guys. I'll give you about another 5 seconds. So again, which area is your biggest area of opportunity? Cleaning up your profile, cleaning up your social media presence in general, completing profiles, posting more awesome content, or increasing your engagement. All right, last chance. I'm closing the poll. 2, 1. Okay, let's close this. It was split right down the middle. Check this out. 50% of you said completing profiles is your greatest area of opportunity. 50% said increasing engagement. So that's awesome. It sounds like you guys don't need cleanup, which is good. So I guess that was basic for this group. And then some of you felt that, yeah, you didn't need more current or relevant content. That is awesome. All right, so there we go. There we go. Let's hide this poll and keep it going. So, gosh, I didn't realize how close I was. We're probably going to run about 10 minutes over, guys. My apologies. I will try to move a little bit more quickly. So here's what we're going to do is we're moving into now third-party profiles. All right, so this is the other greatest area of opportunity we see in the real estate space. It's not just social media, but it's also sites like Realtor.com, like Zillow, like Homes.com, right? This is where your profiles are, are being viewed on these different websites, and so they're going to be really important to make sure that those are complete and really reflecting you highly as well. So, how do you create a Power Pack profile? That is so important. We want you to be able to create a Power Pack profile on these different sites. At ListHub, I interact with this space a lot. I see how often on sites like, Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever other site, you go and, somebody hasn't completed their profile. They don't have a photo displaying at all, even on their own listings. So it's important to make sure you're being reflected on these sites in a strong way. So these are some things to think about when creating these third-party profiles. First of all, do I have a photo there, and is my photo high quality? Are my education and my credentials up to date, and I'm showing those on that profile? Do I communicate my unique value proposition, meaning, what are the things I bring to the table? What are specialties that I have? Is there agent speak in my profile, like things that, like if I'm rattling off all these credentials or designations I have, but a general consumer would have no clue what that means, it's not really the best profile. So really think about the consumer and make it easy to understand for the consumer. All right. Another thing to consider with your third-party profiles are adding customer testimonials. Again, as I mentioned earlier, 97% of people searching online read online reviews. People trust these. We live in the Yelp generation. So having online reviews as part of your online profile is critical, critical, critical. So this is what I'm seeing. Here I can go and search reviews for Mark. I can see, they've got 4.9 out of 5 stars. That's awesome. Here he doesn't have a single review. That's not helpful. So you want to get those customer testimonials in there. All right. Also, and I should say this, if you don't have customer testimonials, then start proactively asking for them. All right. So often past clients won't actually think to post positive reviews about you on their own, but they're totally happy to do it for you if you just ask them. And what's really cool, we're going to shift gears in about a slide here, and I'm going to show you how to create a profile on Realtor.com. And they have a really awesome way for you to just easily ask clients. You can post for a request on social media. You can send an email out. So there are easy ways to also help you ask clients for those reviews. They typically will love to do that for you if they had a great experience. All right, so let's shift gears. I want to show you how to set up a really great profile. We're going to do it on Realtor.com. Part of the reason for that is, according to the National Association of Realtors, the profile of homebuyers and sellers particularly that just came out, more consumers find their agent on Realtor.com than any other site. So they're agents specifically, right? So getting your agent profile set up there is going to be really critical. So I don't know if you know this, but Realtor.com just launched this new Essentials dashboard. That's how you're going to get to your profile. So to set up your Essentials account and get to your agent profile, you're going to want to go to the Realtor.com website. Then you want to hover over this whole sign in, and you want to do the pro sign in. And if you haven't, created that yet, sign up. You'll be prompted to create your account. So here you just have to enter, of course, the information. It's going to ask you for the MLS that you belong to. Once you complete all of that information, it'll say that your account has been created. And then from there, you just click on the button to go to the dashboard for professionals. Now this will get you to your Essentials dashboard. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I believe Realtor.com just launched this last week. But the whole idea behind the Essentials dashboard is that it allows brokers and agents to really oversee all of their business on Realtor.com from one location, right? So you can see leads that you've received. You can see new listings that have been pulled in. You've got your, you can manage your profile. So to create that profile, you'll notice on the left-hand side you've got the profile option. So go ahead and select that. First thing you're going to want to do is to upload your agent's photo. So click on that photo space and click Change Photo and choose Photo. Now on the next screen, when you choose the photo, upload your photo, of course, and in here you can actually, they've got some cool features. So you can now crop your photos, you can kind of doctor it up a bit if necessary. Please remember, when we talk about photos, the photo is an attractive thing to an online consumer. You want to have a high-quality professional photo. Typically, it's going to be a photo of just you, right? No props, no like sold signs or telephones, no pets. Want it to be just you, professional first impression. The, of course, caveat would be if you are on a team or you're like a husband and wife team, then you would obviously want those other people in the photo with you. Once you're done, click Upload. All right, then you want to fill out the About Me stuff. All right, and you can do that by clicking the Change button here. And this is where you can add stuff like your phone number. You can add your professional title, and they have a lot of different options to choose from here. You get to also add years of experience. This is a cool feature. You just add the year that you started in the business. That way, it'll continually calculate and increase your year, as opposed to you having to come in and manually do that. You can add specialties. This is where you tag things like, residential, or if you specialize in luxury properties or first-time home buyers. You can add the specialty tags and also add any specific zip codes that you serve. And then you've got the spot where you can add your website address, your slogan if you have one, and your bio. So again, here for the bio, remember to think from a consumer perspective. Add information that's going to be helpful to them. Like, I love this one that she's talking about. Jane, she offers her clients an outstanding level of service. Honesty, integrity are two characteristics that have helped her build her business. This is her. And then she also writes some information that helps you just kind of get to know her outside of real estate. So this is a great profile bio. And then click the Save button to go ahead and save that. The next tab is the Expertise tab. This is where you get to add your listing display options, your MLS. Listing display, obviously Realtor.com connects into the MLS, so you can actually display your listings with your profile. And you can, you have settings where you can check to select if you want to show all listings, if you want to show sold listings, if you want to show the price range of your current listings or not. So those are some options for you. And then you've got the blogs and social media integration. So this is cool too. You can integrate or attach things like your blog, your Facebook, or your Twitter account to your Realtor.com profile. And not only will they, of course, link, but also what's cool is in your Realtor.com profile, if you have any recent Facebook posts or blog posts, they'll actually show up in your profile. So somebody could click to go, see your Facebook post, or click to go to your blog right from there, and they can see that post. So that's something that's pretty cool. So once you also complete your profile, you'll notice beneath the profile, you've got the recommendations and ratings and reviews section. So here's where you can add new recommendations. And what's really cool, again, about this Realtor.com profile, I think at least, you can ask to be recommended. So they've got this thing in here where you can just literally click send email or compose a post, and Realtor.com will pull up text already there for you. You can use that to send to your past clients. You can use the social networks, to post a little post asking for a referral or a recommendation on social. So it makes it really easy. Again, so important, guys. You want to start to really get those recommendations into your profile. They're such a huge thing. And then once you have added all of your information, you can click on your profile and see exactly what online consumers would see. So you can see how it would look live on the Realtor.com website. So those are the steps to create a great profile. If you haven't set up your Realtor.com profile, again, I recommend that you do that. It's a great place. People come to look for agents there. Also, there was a statistic I saw that Realtor.com posted that for completed profiles, they actually, and I don't know how this happens, but it increases your search engine ranking. So that profile will actually be bumped up to typically cite for like the number 1 or number 2 slots, I believe, in the Google search. So you can fill out your profile and tell me if that's the case or not. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me. Here we go. We're wrapping it up here now, home stretch. For those of you who want to get your profile created, go ahead and go to Realtor.com/agent profile. That'll kind of give you some more information, highlights, show you how to set it up. Alrighty. So in summary, just I know I've shared a lot of information with you today, so I want to kind of take it down and get you refocused. What are the 3 steps to get started? First, you want to assess your online presence. Go Google yourself and see what you find. Then you're going to have your priority list, right? From there, go ahead and do some cleanup. Make sure that you clean up your social media profiles, clean up those online profiles. And number 3, create or refresh your bio. So make sure that everything is cleaned up. Make sure that you go back and make sure you've got your expertise, anything that's new. And if you have a bio that looks a little stale, refresh it. Make sure that you're making it more consumer focused. Those are going to really help you in managing your online presence. And for bonus points or extra credit, start creating more timely, relevant, and high-quality content, including not just text, but video content, since we know search engines love that, and share away. All right, guys, I mentioned that we do have some resources for you as well, and so I just want to share that now. If you go to listhubnews.com, so not just ListHub, it's listhubnews.com/online presence. We have all kinds of great resources for you. We have the slide deck there. We will be doing the recording, so it won't be there immediately, but we'll get it up there as soon as we can, probably later today. There is links to create your profile on Realtor.com for any of you who like a good old-fashioned handout to kind of help you step by step. There's a PDF that you can download to help you set up profiles as well, and we've got some other great resources. So feel free to check it out, listhubnews.com/online presence. All right, everybody. We are at the end of the presentation, and we will. So I'm going to go ahead because I've really already gone over. I'm going to go ahead and take questions offline. Nick, I think you have a question. Maria, you have a question. So I will get to you guys, I promise. All right. But for the rest of you, thank you so much for taking the time to attend our presentation today. One thing I will mention is we are going to be sending a survey out to you as well at the end. We really want to create webinars with content that are going to be really useful to you. So in that survey, please let us know, or feel free to send me an email too. It's just lisa@listhub.com. If there's something that you're really interested that that will help your business that you want to learn about, let us know. We'd love to create a training presentation for you. All right, everybody. Thanks again for your time. Have a fantastic afternoon. Bye-bye now.